Well, this fall is a landmark of sorts, a milestone, if you will, in retail history in Oklahoma City. Balliets women's clothing store is celebrating its 75th anniversary, and with me is Balliets president, owner, how should we call you, Bob Benham?
Well, all of the above, and I do windows too.
Yes, take out the trash on Friday,
Yeah.
right.
My wife and I own the business.
Bob and Dee Dee.
Dee Dee Benham, yeah.
Yes.
And our daughter Lisa is in the business, and she will be moving into my office in 2 or 3 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, you were on the verge of retirement right before you and Dee Dee moved to Oklahoma City to take over Balliets, right?
Well, I actually technically retired from Hallmark Cards. I ran the retail division in Kansas City, the big stores there, and actually retired when I was 50. I'm now 72. The opportunity came along to buy our own store and decided that's what I really wanted to do. My wife was a great sport.
At the time, back in '91, you didn't know exactly what you were. It's a whole different kettle of fish, wasn't it, than what you
really
expected?
Was. Well, we were in Kansas City, which did not suffer the huge downturn in energy prices and didn't suffer the banking crisis. We're right across the state line.
Right.
We really didn't realize how bad it was here till we got here.
Right.
But we felt if we bought the business with my long background in retail, and Dee Dee had some background too, that we could resuscitate the business, turn it around, create a great store for Oklahoma City over time, and serve our customers here.
Right, right. A leap of faith.
It was, especially for my
sorts.
wife. She never
Yes.
set foot in Oklahoma before the day we closed.
Well, you've sold her on Oklahoma since then, I'm sure. Or maybe Oklahomans have sold her on Oklahoma.
Love it.
That's
we
great.
love it. I've lived in 10 different states.
Right.
And she's moved with me to most of them, and this is our favorite place. And we've been in San Francisco,
Oh.
and St. Louis, and Kansas City, and Denver. This is
Right.
home.
Oh, that's great. That's
love it.
great. Yeah, you have an extensive retail background, and I know that you were familiar with some of the history of Balliets going all the way back to
That's right.
the 1936, right?
That's correct.
It was Edna Balliet
Edna Balliet from Chickasha.
from Chickasha.
And it's interesting, throughout my now 42-year career, so many amazingly talented women have come from small towns, and you wouldn't dream they would be born with the fashion gene.
Right.
But Mrs. Balliet she had the store for a long, long time, sold it to Buddy Rogers. We bought it from Buddy in 1991.
Okay. So Buddy Rogers would represent maybe sort of in the 70s and 80s?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And when Edna opened, it was in the middle of the Dust Bowl, and I just can't help asking myself, what was she thinking? Opening a fine women's clothing store,
It was a very courageous woman.
There was a name for it. What was it called?
It was a carriage trade store.
Okay.
And the old time, very upscale women's specialty stores were called carriage trade, and they usually had a porte cochere, and women would pull up in their carriages and go shop. Mrs. Balliet went to Europe and bought European fashion, was the first to bring European fashion to the state of Oklahoma.
Wow.
She was quite a pioneer.
Yes.
In every sense of the word.
Right. So we have her to thank, and we have you to thank for this beautiful 17,000 square foot new store in Class and Curve. It's stunning.
Well, thank you. It's been very interesting. When Aubrey McClendon originally approached me about moving to Class and Curve, it was in the opportunity of a lifetime. That was, I guess my definition of optimism is a 70-year-old retailer signing a lease for a bigger store during a deep recession. We couldn't pass it up, and it doesn't happen without Aubrey McClendon. He has been a fabulous benefactor, and Bill Cameron back in the day too. Also was very financially important to Balliets when we bought Buddy Rogers out. So we've had a lot of great benefactors along the way, and we hope we've taken an opportunity and created a store that Oklahoma Cityans can feel is world class.
Right, well it is, and obviously embraced by Oklahomans as well. It's beautiful, and we celebrate with you for 75 years, which for any business is monumental, but we're especially happy for you and Dee Dee. So
thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, before we say goodbye, we'd like to thank our friends at Opupco Studios for providing the beautiful studio where we shoot Slice TV. And we want to remind you that you can read Slice Magazine online anytime at sliceok.com. Thanks for joining us today and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.